Today's show brought to you live from Lounge Media Group Studios. It's Pedro and the Freight Hound with the Logistics Lounge. The views and opinions expressed on this show by its guests are not necessarily those of Lounge Media Group or the show
All right.
host. So if
Shut up.
you sue someone, make sure it's the party responsible for hurting your feelings. Also, grow up, be an adult, and understand not everyone thinks like you. And that's okay.
crack-a-lacking.
Allow me to unmute myself.
Yeah, and that's so weird. It usually auto mutes. Yeah, I kept hearing.
Yeah,
It. I
no,
was
I
like,
think I
what
kind
the
of got
hell is
sidetracked.
that?
Yeah, no, I got cameraman Joe sitting behind me. We're looking for a new place to move into later this month. So, yeah, sorry about that. Just chit chatting
No,
it out. But what's going on, brother? How you doing today?
man, I'm doing good, man. Doing good. It's been the week is moving right along. And yeah, man, it's just a normal week. Good things happening. No bad things. Knock on my fake particle board or my particle board desk here. So yeah, man, just chilling, hanging out. Had a good weekend. Even though I almost passed out Saturday, man, like mowing these yards, dude. I woke up and tried to get them done early, and all I had was a protein shake. And bro, I was just out there going at it, mowing these 3 yards, and I started feeling lightheaded. I was like, yeah, I think something's wrong here. Went inside, and my wife said that my sugar probably like was dropping rapidly, which makes sense, whatever. So, but
It's
other
been
than
hot out
that,
there, man.
dude, it is. I mean, it's the humidity down here, to be honest with you. Like, I can deal with
Everywhere.
dry heat. I mean, that's fine. But here it's the dang humidity. It's like it sucks the sweat out of you. It's absolutely ridiculous.
No
But
kidding.
I'm good. We're good, man. Great things happening, my friend. How about you?
I'm good, man. It's good to be back. We had a very eventful week last week in Iowa. Up there at the Iowa 80 Truck Show. The heat was there in full force, and then the first 2 days, show got cut a little bit short. We had a total of 3 tornadoes and some flooding. That's fun. But we adapted and we overcame. Had a fantastic time there. Was bummed that I couldn't come live from the show on Friday. Like literally right when we were going live, the storm hit. And it interrupted my time seeing Mike Rowe, dude. So I mean, Lee said that was the worst the weather's ever been at the show. So I'm like hoping we have good karma for next year because they were about to have a fireworks show and all kinds of music and bands and the light show and the train horns and But we got some really good content up there. Had a really good time. Got to see some friends, that we've met at some of these other shows and got to meet some new cats too, man. So talked to a lot of folks that are going to be at some upcoming truck shows and yeah, dude, it's been good. So week's going great so far. Having a pretty good start to the month of July. So yeah, keeping that momentum rolling, brother.
Hell
Also,
yeah,
almost
man.
got sprayed by a skunk twice last night. So
Dude,
I'm happy to
I
be
told
alive and
I
hearing well.
I told you it's mating season, and you smell like one. So
That's
bro,
what I was
it's
thinking. The second
yeah.
part, I didn't really
Yeah.
think about mating season, but I was like, wow, I was upset that Pepe Le Pew got canceled at first, but now I'm on board with that because that was just uncalled for.
You were like, oh man, damn, I can't remember her name now from the damn Disney movie. Goes into the forest and has all the animals start following her. Then
Oh,
whatever,
Snow
dang.
White or something
Yeah,
like
Snow
that.
White. There you go. Thank
Man.
you. Yeah. You're Mr. Snow White.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, dude. I got set up. There were like two little bunny rabbits in front of me. I was like, oh, look how cute. And then boom, skunk, sneak
Dude,
attack, come from underneath the car.
you know what? Honestly, you talking about it? I think that you just starred in the new Pixar real life film and didn't even know it, because that straight up sounds like an animal gang right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
well,
mean,
no, there is that
the
one. I
rabbits,
forget
the
what.
rabbits came up from behind you, bro, and they were cornering you from behind, taking care of your flank. And
Yeah,
then
I
the
forget.
skunk came out, was like, dude, I'm gonna spray this SOB in the eyes. Y'all
No,
grab his
there is a
wallet.
movie like that, dude. I think it's like Hoodwinked or something like that, where all the animals like attack the people building the new neighborhood. We gotta watch out, man. There were some deer in the field too. I was ready to go, man. So,
Bro, you almost
yeah,
you
I'll
almost
probably
got
be carrying a
jumped.
little heat with me tonight.
Yeah, man.
I'll attack back.
That's so fucking funny, bro. Oh man, that was a funny text. I have to see what time I got. It was like 9:30, and you were like, dude, I almost just got sprayed by a skunk. I was like, cool, Hunter. Great text.
Twice.
9:30 at night, man.
What's up, Uncle Kent? Yeah, sorry to miss you, man. I was up in Iowa and then old J Mart. Good to see you as always, brother. But what we
Let's
got
go.
rocking in the news today?
Well, man, I'm glad you asked. It's pretty good thing, man. Some stuff that if it ends up going through, is going to dedicate. benefit. Wow, that's completely different words right there. Going to benefit truck drivers. So let's get to some news. Lounge Media News brought to you by AR Doc Pro, and as always, sourced from truckingnewshub.com. All right, so a big thing with the incoming Trump administration, they were really talking about making some changes for the trucking industry, well, logistics, but the trucking industry specifically. And here is one that they're knocking off ticking off the box on. So President Trump took steps to dismantle California's vehicle emission standards on June 12th of this year by signing 3 Congressional Review Act resolutions revoking California's waiver under the Clean Air Act. The waiver previously allowed California to set emission standards that were stricter than federal law. The CRA nullifies California's CARB Advanced Clean Trucks and Heavy-Duty Engine emissions rules. The trucking industry cheered this development, obviously, as a tangible result of its advocacy for those fleets struggling with the cost and complexity of time-certain deadlines for zero-emission transition. The 3 CARB regulations that will be impacted by these resolutions include, my dang throat's acting up, include zero-emission vehicles, which that mandate was for at least 80% of new light-duty vehicles sold by 2035 be plug-in hybrids or some other form of zero-emission vehicle. The Advanced Clean Trucks, which is the ACT regulation, that rule targeted manufacturers of medium heavy-duty trucks and required a tiered increase in the percentage of zero-emission trucks that they sold starting from 2024 up until 2035 when the ZEV rule is going to take effect. Finally, the low NO2 omnibus heavy-duty engine rule. That rule was established to deal with stricter nitrogen oxide standards for heavy-duty diesel engines and that are well above federal levels set by the EPA. So the ultimate outcome of let me back up. Once this all was done or went through, of course, California Governor Newsom, he put through a lawsuit for this, put in a appeal, so they're going to fight it and, do all that stuff and try to kill this thing off. So the ultimate outcome of the litigation, though, may alter the long-term competitive strategies and the capital planning for small carriers. If the CRA is upheld, carriers operating across state lines may no longer be subject to these emission mandates, freeing up traditional business rationales as operators look to manage network cost and performance. They say on the flip side that if California comes through on this, that a patchwork of regulatory environment regulations may reemerge overnight. Therefore, fleet management planning prior to the execution of all of these going into place, they say, remains on the table. And people are trying to come up with contingencies on both sides of this, depending on which way this might end up finally falling. So,
yeah, well, I think my stance on this. Hope that this goes through and California just eats a little bit of their own lunch there.
I think most people are behind this, and don't get me wrong, man. I am all for trying to take care of the planet. I mean, but let's humans have ruined this thing. Honestly, there's nothing much we can do. All we can do from here on out is try to lessen it. So I'm all for it. But as this article says, and as most people know, I mean, these mandates in California, they're above what the federal mandates are. And these things that they're setting forth, having to buy these EVs and all these vehicles be manufactured, be EVs by a certain time. I mean, we've talked about this on the show, the cost of this. Matter of fact, your boss literally did a video, called and asked them how much an EV truck would be with a sleeper. And it was like almost $500,000 for TJ to buy.
Sell them on tax breaks or something like that. It was all a write-off. But TJ was like, dude, he's like, I could buy 3 brand new diesel trucks for the cost of one of these EVs you're trying to sell me. Are you kidding me right now? So, I think a lot of people are championing it. We'll see what happens. I mean, notoriously, California does have a lot of pull in this area. So, as far as, kind of setting these emissions mandates and stuff like that. So, we'll
we'll keep track of it. See what happens. This will be pretty interesting because it does have the opportunity to make a big impact in the pocketbooks of people on no matter what way it goes. So hopefully it goes the way where folks are saving and we can really make some change.
Yep. This has been one of the more fun news things to keep up with, personally. Besides the recalls, I'm waiting for the next recall to come out so I can finally nail down the date. But I think I was off by 3 days.
We pretty much got it figured. It's like 6 to 8 weeks. 6 to 8 weeks by the time
I'm gonna
the
get
news
the
story.
exact date at one point, man. Like the last time I was off by 3 days, so I don't know. We'll see.
Well, awesome, man. We're gonna get to our guests. Hey, before we do, I'm gonna remind you to remind me because I know I'll forget. We have a special announcement talking about rules and regulations. We have a special announcement regarding something with the FMCSA at the end of our show. Yeah.
All right.
Pretty cool stuff. So if I forget to mention that, I'm gonna try to remember that. I'm probably sure right there on the post note. But
over here.
I know, right? All right. So hey, go ahead, get to our guest here. So happy he was able to join us. Busy man. His company is on the move. They're growing, and we are so happy he was able to chop out some time for us. So without keeping y'all waiting anymore, Ryan Joyce with Genlogs, everyone. I so downloaded that song, bro. You turned me on to a new band today, so thank you.
Who was that?
You had to something to breathe. It's Ryan's favorite band.
Need to Breathe.
Need to Breathe. All one word.
Yeah, Need to Breathe. Good South Carolina rock band for you there. So if you're in the South, like I know you guys are, that's definitely check them out. One of my favorite bands. So thanks for the intro there.
Yeah, man, 100%. Again, thank you. Thanks for joining us, brother. How you doing? How's your week going? Your month? Your year?
Let's focus on the last week. I actually took, for the very first time in a long time, took a little bit of time off to spend with my wife's family on the northern neck of Virginia, right on the Potomac River. We went out and caught crabs and then steamed those crabs and ate them, and it was awesome. And so it took a little bit of time away from the keyboard, from the hustle and the bustle, in order to just relax and enjoy the beauty that nature can give. And here I am. We're back and ready to roll.
Man, that's amazing, dude. We find a time to unplug is so dang hard today, man. You know what I mean? You there's almost nowhere that there's not internet coverage. You know what I mean? Or something else to distract you.
Yeah, I had to fight it. But it was cell signal was weak. And so at some points you just couldn't do anything about it, and you were just present. So it was great.
Well, that's awesome, man. That's good stuff, brother. Good to hear you taking a break, especially knowing how busy things are for you and everything, man. So we'll jump right in it, get you rolling like we do everyone else. And first question always is, who is Ryan Joyce, and how did you get to be the CEO of Genlogs?
It's a great question. It's a long story. I'll try to make it tight. What I did not do is come from the freight industry. So I always like to be really clear with people up front. Here I am on the logistics lounge. And if you had told me even 3 years ago, hey, Ryan, you're going to be a podcast guest on the logistics lounge, I would have laughed, because my background is very different. We call Genlogs the truck intelligence platform. It's the intelligence side that I do have a background in. And so if you kind of let's go back to September 11th, 2001. I was a senior in high school at the time, and my dad was in the Pentagon on 9/11 when his office was hit by the plane, smashed right underneath him, and he narrowly got out before the whole office just fell into the inferno below. And when he got home that night, and we were trying to piece together like what happened, first of all, we all thought in the family that he might not have survived. So it was kind of only by God's grace he walked in, he was there. But for me, that set a new course for my life, where all I cared about was flirting with girls and playing basketball that morning. I went to bed that night dedicated to do everything I could to learn about the history, culture, language, religion of the people that would do that, make sure it never happened again. And I ended up going to study abroad in the Middle East to study Arabic and political science, and started to delve into, hey, what happened and why would people want to fly all the way across the world to smash and kill a bunch of Americans? And to make a long story short, I ended up a few years after college joining the CIA. And I was in the CIA for a number of years doing counterterrorism operations, living back in the Middle East. And my job was to recruit terrorists to give us information about the plans and intentions of Al-Qaeda and ISIS and all these guys that were trying to kill Americans, and turn them to stop and help report and stop those attacks. So then you might wonder, okay, hold on, how'd you then get into trucking? We can unpack a lot of that. But what I will say is, what's really interesting about the era that I joined the CIA was an era where technology was starting to come on the scene, including the internet and everything else. And if you actually go to CIA.gov right now, and you go to the very upper right-hand corner, it says report information. And anyone in the world that has information they want to give to CIA can go there, hit it, and then all of a sudden now report information. That presented a new problem for CIA, which is, how do you validate or vet that this person is real or not a crazy person, or worse, is not trying to kill you? They're not a terrorist trying to lure out a CIA officer. So we had to figure out how to vet sources back then, and we had to do it remotely without even meeting them. And so that we would do that using sensor satellites or what we were hearing from other sources. Well, lo and behold, when I started to decide I was going to leave that space and was looking where am I go next, I was reading an article about double brokering, cargo theft, all of these issues. And I realized a light bulb went off. It was the same basic problem that was happening. Is these digital identities, people were saying, yeah, I can move your freight. And yet they didn't actually have assets to do so. Maybe they were going to double broker that out. And that's where we were like, you know what? The light bulb went off. I said, we had to solve this at CIA. I think I can help solve it in the freight industry. And then that led me and two others back in 2023 to form Genlogs. And we can get into what it does, but that's kind of how I came through this twisty turny way to be at Genlogs now.
That has to be the coolest story intro into logistics I've ever heard. Like, and that is insane, dude. Like, I'm blessed to have your dad with us still here today, dude. That is nuts. But I guess you kind of answered that first question.
Oh no, I know. I can spin it, man. I can spin it.
Oh yeah, so, run
it. Dude. All right. So you talk about the story you read and all of and everything, but why logistics? What was it that interested you so much about this? I mean, your skills could be applied in a gajillion places. You could be a damn insurance investigator, for God's sakes. You know what I mean? So what was it about that, our industry, that just pulled you in?
Yeah, there was two parts to it. When I left CIA, I didn't go directly to Genlogs. I kind of did a interim step at a technology company where I met my now technical co-founder, Joe, that we had developed some technology there that was allowing us to track people across cameras without the use of facial recognition or gait recognition. And it was a really cool technology that we helped pioneer. Eventually, it kind of went through some twists and turns, and it was being applied in the retail space. And I just wasn't personally passionate about making mall operators richer by understanding how people moved around malls and shopping centers. However, one of our investors was Ross Perot Jr. Now, Ross Perot, son of the Ross Perot that ran for president, Ross Perot Jr. runs a very large chain of warehouses called Hillwood, a lot of logistics companies. And he's invested heavily into the Dallas-Fort Worth area with Alliance, Texas, which has a BNSF facility, ton going on there. And in one of our investor meetings, Ross Perot Jr. kind of piped up and said, hey, could you guys do the same things you guys are doing on people, but do that on trucks? And it was just kind of silent for a few seconds. And we kind of looked at each other and we're like, well, I think we could, but we're going to stay focused on the people. But I just logged that in the back of my head, that someone of note and a big investor who's big in this space wanted to track trucks, and I didn't know why. And I think it just gnawed at me that I don't know a thing about the trucking industry. So when it came time to figure out what to do next, I started to go down this rabbit hole of everything about trucking, how big it is, fragmented it is, the issues plaguing, the fact that there's $35 billion of cargo theft happening in the US each year. And that all culminated. And like, once I could see it, I couldn't unsee it. So yes, it might have gone down and been an insurance investigator, other things, but I really credit Ross Perot Jr. asking a simple question in a meeting for why I'm somewhat here today.
That's awesome. Yeah, the rabbit hole can go very deep, man. So glad to have you here. So I guess digging into Genlogs. So some of the functions on y'all's platform rely, on a nationwide network of roadside sensors. So what are some of the biggest technical challenges that you faced in building and scaling this physical infrastructure across the country, and how did you overcome them?
Well, what I'd say is we did not want to build our own network to begin with. So that was the last thing we wanted to do when Blake, Joe, and I, the three co-founders, sat down and decided we were going to go into trucking. We initially got access to 50,000 traffic cameras throughout the United States through the Departments of Transportation. So we filed Freedom of Information Act requests. We begged, borrowed, stealed. We got them all, only to find that the resolution wasn't good enough to get any good data off of the trucks. You could tell that a truck was there, but not the truck that was there. So that led us down a path to develop our own camera sensor. We call it the Trident because it has 3 cameras actually that all work in concert together to collect on the front, the side, and the rear of the truck as it's passing by. So we get these 3 distinct images that we stitch together, and then we pull all of the data you'd want to know about a truck. Is it who's the carrier, US DOT, MC, cab number, reefer, all of that. So we did this and we were successful. And then we kind of looked at a map and said, oh my gosh, we did this once. Now we got to do it hundreds and thousands of times. This is going to be impossible. But I think it was the fact that if we thought it was going to be really hard, then everyone else was going to be thinking it was hard, which means that no one else was going to try to rush in to do it with us or before us. We were going to go prove that it was possible. And long story short, we have a tremendous team at Genlogs that one by one, as they joined, they rolled up their sleeves and said, well, let's get from 1 to 2. And then we did that. And let's get from 2 to 4. And we did that. And all of a sudden it started to snowball to the point that we have hundreds of these things all over coast to coast, from California to New York, from Minnesota down to Laredo and almost everywhere in between, collecting on upwards of 10 million images of trucks per day. And to the point that every second we're getting about 200 images coming in from this network. It is not for the faint of heart. And we have guys up on bucket trucks. Man, I went up one of those one day. I'm scared of heights. And I got about 6 feet off the ground. I started crying. But these guys are up sometimes 50 feet in the air, putting those cameras where we need them so that they can collect on the truck traffic that's happening there. And they just do it every day and day in and day out. And we had our first time last week. We got 8 of these things up in one day. And it used to take, when Joe and I did the first one, we were dangling over barbed wire on the side of I-95 with just a ladder and some screwdrivers. And now these guys have it down pat. Couldn't do without them. It is a logistical nightmare. And yet it's one of those that if it's worth doing, it's worth doing.
Holy crap, man. I'm good. Dude, you're just a man on a mission with everything that you do, Ryan. You talk about, that day on September 11th, starting out the day, and then you went to sleep and thought, man, this is what else I'm going to do. And it seems like you go to bed every night thinking that. You wake up one morning, you're like, this is doing, you go to bed like, what can I do harder tomorrow than I did today? Which is a good thing, man. Always challenging yourself. And obviously that's how you've gotten where you're at. And that's why Genlogs is really taking off a lot. Now, kind of keeping, I want to stay on the first topic here with, Ross Perot Jr. talking about, tracking these trucks and this sensor infrastructure, because the first way that I heard about you was when it came to asset and cargo theft stuff. I kept, Hunter and I have a really big group of friends that are deep in the freight fraud stuff. So, we get fed a lot of things in a lot of groups there are, and we kept seeing people tag you and Genlogs about, these stolen cargo and trucks and, oh man, maybe Genlogs can help with this. Maybe Genlogs can help with this. And, so that's something that y'all use your infrastructure for, these cameras and all this sensory technology that y'all have, man. So could you elaborate more on that and, why y'all's mission is with Genlogs is a big part towards the freight and asset theft thing?
Yeah.
And sorry, part B, I want to know how many trucks you've recovered. Someone told me to ask you that, so I'm thinking it's a good number.
It is it's a really strong number. I will tell you this to kind of put that one first. Now that we put this technology into our customers' hands, we don't track every single recovery that they do. And so there's a little bit hard for us to aggregate one number across the board. However, there is one very large customer that we were engaging with today who said that since they started using Genlogs, they've recovered 700 unique trucks and trailers that had been out there missing, that they've now recovered and back in their possession. And that is, some of those are straight up stolen, that they have now their entire inventory of trailers are on the Genlogs platform, that the moment that it is seen paired with an MC that is not whitelisted to pull it, they get an immediate alert, and then they can go through law enforcement channels or contact sometimes those carriers directly and say, hey, we see you using our asset out there. We want it back. That's kind of how far this has come, is now we could set alerts on literally everything that's happening on the roads, and even do those mismatch pairings at scale. So we have some customers that truly have 3,500 alerts enabled at any given time, because they have that many trailers that are missing or they don't quite know where they are, and we're tracking those down all the time. And sometimes it is straight theft, sometimes it is just mismanagement, or all the above. So to answer your question though about if you remind me again, I was going back in time on the why did we choose the cargo theft, or how are we addressing that?
Yeah, there you go. How are you guys addressing that? Using where y'all's platform and all the technology infrastructure with the cameras and everything like that.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. When we collect that front, side, and rear view on a truck, and we now extract every little shred of data there, it allows us now to look at, hey, if there is a stolen trailer in an area, we can set an alert for it. If it's seen on any one of our cameras, you'll get an alert in real time coming through directly to your email. And we have an investigations team that truly, and I'll put this out there for anyone who's listening, if you go to genlogs.io right now, top right, we say find lost assets. You smash that button, you report it. We're going to track it down, and we're not going to send you an invoice. We don't find it every single time, because sometimes it was a short haul straight from where it was stolen, right around the corner, unloaded, and then all of a sudden it's just kind of abandoned there. But if it's out there being hauled in the middle mile, we have a very high likelihood of finding, hey, who stole that trailer? Or oftentimes what we'll see recently, which is scary, is there'll be a drop trailer situation where the carrier who comes to pick it up is impersonating another carrier. And we'll go ahead and see them coming on the compound with some type of paper placard that's covering something underneath. And then they'll take that trailer, and then they'll go a mile down the road, come out and rip off that paper, now try to be someone else as they're going down, thinking that, hey, if that shipper had cameras there, they would have seen who entered, but now I'm going to be someone else as I'm operating. Well, for us, we can take, all we need is a few one or two shreds of data. So we say, hey, this is a US Express trailer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. We'll set an alert for that. And therefore, even if the truck rotated its identity or it drop and hooked with another truck, we'll see it out there, and we'll be able to start to piece together what happened and figure out who stole it or who was involved. So we do that on a regular basis. Our customers are uncovering this all the time. But I can't stress enough that ultimately Genlogs is trying to get to a point that this doesn't happen, because where the theft is often happening is unfortunately where you're meeting these fraudsters on the load boards. And that's where you're connecting, and that's where it goes down a wrong path. The higher use of the Genlogs platform is that all of these cameras are watching what is a normal pattern out there. Where is a carrier operating frequently and recently with the correct equipment you're looking for? So if you got to move a load, like my freight hound buddy here moving reefers, certain areas, you can now look and say, well, who's moving reefers between point A to point B? And we're going to de facto tell you, here's all of the carriers that move reefers between point A to point B, and do it regularly, do it frequently. And when one button, you can see images of all those carriers to validate that they're real. They're running those lanes every day. They're like Super Trucker, who's I know he's tuning in right here. and love him to death. Like that guy's out there. When he's driving, we're seeing him, and we know that he's real and legit, and therefore he's going to come up as a carrier we're recommending. That way, we're helping brokers connect directly with real carriers and avoiding connecting with potentially fraudulent carriers. That's the higher use of Genlogs here.
That is next freaking level. I mean, I've heard of people sourcing, and kind of picking up where they've gotten inspected, but to use the cameras to find capacity, and make sure they're real, that's amazing. So I can stand on this.
Hold on. I want to chime in here though. I just want to say, people like you, Ryan, you scare me. They make fucking TV shows about people like you, dude. Like, I mean, the level of the stuff you were at is, man, that's nuts. So, I want to ask a question, get some clarification on something you said, because I may have missed it, and I think maybe some other people missed it. So, you said you have a carrier partner, that they tell you where they're running, and you can tell where their trucks or trailers are in case someone is like taking an asset. So, me as a carrier, like I could sign up with you and say, man, hey Ryan, here's, my assets, here's what they are, what they look like, send you pictures, whatever it is that you want, and say, hey man, could you monitor this stuff, for me? If you see this attached to a truck that is not mine, please send me something so I can do something about it.
You absolutely nailed it. And we actually have on our product roadmap something that I'm probably more excited about than I've seen anywhere else. And this is where we are actually moving in the direction of being able to take a carrier's assets that they would tell us, like, hey, these are my assets and I'm registering with you. And we're like, great. And we're going to let them know if anyone out there on the roads is trying to impersonate them. And we'll do that in real time so that they can get ahead of any of the freight guard reports that are inevitably going to start pouring in when someone using their MC is now out there stealing freight in their name. And I think that's one of the greatest tragedies of fraud here is, the shippers, they're going to have insurance. They'll be able to like weather the storm. When an owner operator, all of a sudden someone else is using their MC number to go into a shipper and steal, and that MC now gets reported and gets freight guarded, and all of a sudden none of the brokers are going to work with that guy again, and he was a victim in this situation, that breaks my heart. So like we are working very quickly to get to the point that we can do this overwatch on the road for any carrier, that they can now know that they're being looked after. And if someone's trying to impersonate them, we're getting ahead of it. We have a public sector team that will engage with law enforcement on their behalf to go shut down and arrest the impersonator before there's any damage inflicted. That's where Genlogs is trending here over the next 6 to 12 months.
Dude, that's good stuff, man. That's everything that you're doing here. I mean, I want to say this without making it sound like a backwards compliment. I want to say it's not forward thinking. I would guess you would say forward. I'm trying to think of the word. I would just say what you're doing here, man, is forward thinking. I mean, taking the stuff that is already there, even though you guys have had to, install some equipment in some places, but, taking some stuff that's already existing ideas, ways that other people are trying to use it and implement it, and fine tuning it, and making each part work for a singular thing, but also have all of them work together in the end as it comes down the stream. So, and I think very few tech companies, Ryan, in our space, they miss that. Like they're very singularly focused on what they do, which is great. You want to make one product, you want to be the best at that product, but there's a lot of these things have multiple different uses. Like our friend Tim Higgum owns this in TMS, like his stuff, he gets shippers on his platform, knows a lot of shippers, all these things. And he's like, man, why don't I take all this information I have and add it as a bonus, as a freebie to the brokers and carriers that join my platform. And so like you do the same thing, hey, all this stuff does these things on its own, but as a bonus, we're going to make them work together and do these other things for one ending mission. So, man, applause to you, brother. Especially from someone from outside of our industry that has come in and has got such a grasp on how messed up things are and what probably the largest issue in our industry is, which really is freight theft and fraud. I mean, I know it's overtalked, but I think it's the thing that we can all agree cost everyone in this, including the consumer, the most amount of money.
Yeah, I agree with you. And, it's from a stance of humility that I sit there and just try to learn every day, because I don't know. I've never actually brokered a load myself. I've never driven a truck. Like, I've never done these things that people have, but I can sit down and ask questions and listen. And that's basically what I did for my entire career at CIA. I was never a terrorist myself, yet I could sit down and actually ask questions about, how did you get into Al-Qaeda? Why did that happen? What was going on there? And really intimately try to understand and empathize with a person to understand what motivates them, what their pain points are. So it's taking that same background that I was doing at CIA, now applying it to this industry, and really making sure that I can understand what is the highest use and the highest value that we can now use for this network that we've poured millions of dollars in blood, sweat, and tears to make. How do we continue to make life better for the everyday broker, carrier, shipper?
That's pretty incredible. So obviously, staying on the prevention topic here. So obviously, fraud is a huge part of Genlog's service. So I guess kind of getting into it a little different. So what makes your approach to fraud prevention different from the others? You know, as Pedro was saying, there are a lot of people that kind of do the same thing. So,
Yeah.
you know, what sets you guys apart?
Yeah, I would say it's becoming clearer to me by the day that most of the freight fraud is happening because of digital only transactions. So, hey, I meet you on a load board, we email a few times, and then we try to go, boom, now it's kicked over to the physical world for something to happen. And when that thing goes wrong, you're left kind of being like, wait, what happened here? And increasingly what we're seeing is, every time we investigate a stolen load at Genlogs, and I say, well, who is the MC that you ended up meeting and tendering that load to? And they tell me. We drop it into our platform and look up where that carrier's been seen, what type of assets they have, and almost 99 times out of 100, it doesn't match up. It doesn't line up. Recently, there was a load of copper stolen on a flatbed out of California. When I looked up that MC, it was an MC operating out of Indiana that had one box truck that had actually disappeared from the roads 3 months ago. And they sold their MC, it was pretty clear, and someone else then used it to go steal a load of copper. So what we're finding is that the digital only transactions, that's where it's happening. But the digital only vetting platforms are trying to combat that. But if you're only combating digitally, you're missing, like, okay, what's actually happening on the roads? And then, and even scarier to me is that now the digital fraud is actually seeping into the physical kind of impersonation. So we've been tracking this cargo theft ring that has been popping up every month or two as a different MC. Most recently, it was with an MC that's really out there on the roads, MedSpeed LLC, and they popped up as them in California. And then they'll hit a bunch of people and they'll go underground. And then they'll pop up somewhere else to hit a bunch of people. But that's what's scary to me, is that they are defrauding online and then going and actually showing up at the shipper gates saying, yep, I am that carrier. And the shipper expects Acme Trucking to come, so they do it. What is really needed is a platform that bridges the digital and the physical. It says, okay, you're claiming this is what your footprint is, but does that match what your physical footprint is? And that's what Genlogs brings to the table is, cool, you want to bring that reefer load from California to Oregon? Let me see if you've ever had a reefer in California, let alone, and if you don't, that's a red flag. That's something that no other platform can do because they don't have the physical infrastructure, and we're uniquely able to do there.
I've never heard anybody break that down like that. And obviously it's because you guys are the only ones that do it. I mean, I never thought about it seeping into the physical world, but that's nuts. That's the only thing I can really think to say on that. But
yeah, well,
So sorry, go ahead, Ryan. Go ahead.
I was going to say, we don't need to do it on this show, but separately, like, man, we are happy to show you the actual, like, the proof is in the pudding. When you see, that's where the carriers are, that's the equipment they have, man, like there are now most of the top 20 brokerages not only use Genlogs, but looking at the assets is actually a requirement with using a new carrier. And ITS Logistics is a customer of ours, and they recently announced that they were a customer, that since using Genlogs, their critical incident rate has dropped to 0.004%. I mean, these are guys that move thousands and thousands of loads every day, about 1 million a year. And we've been able to drop it to truly near zero, to the point that any shipper that is trying to decide which broker do I work with, well, increasingly they're going to go to the brokers that and have built a tech stack that have brought fraud down to zero. And I really feel like we can do that if we're bridging the digital and the physical together. You can't hide that a 53-foot trailer is being hauled out there, and you can't suddenly materialize one. You either are or are not operating on the roads.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I thought you were about to say something.
I'm just mind blown over here.
I know this is crazy information, man. You know, the things you were doing, man, the way you guys are going about stuff, definitely a crazy approach, and that's good. You know, I mean, things need shaking up a little bit. You know, when goes to, I mean, shameless plug, you know, the sponsor running across the bottom of the screen, Freight Validate, our buddy Dale Prax, you know, like I think, I know that's why he's being so successful and shaking, doing things, because he's shaking things up. He's taking a different approach, you know, instead of just the old, you know, stuff that everyone else is doing. Pulling info from FMCSA and highway and all this other blah, blah, blah. And Dale's like, no, man, I want my own freaking information. Like, you guys already had your turn at this shit and your info's not working. Why would I want your info when we all know it doesn't work and it's trash? So, you know, and for you to be able to build that out, man, you know, from the ground up, you know, see the problems and know what the solutions need to be to it is absolutely incredible, especially for someone who really doesn't come from this industry. But, you know, I mean, now I see why you're being so successful in this, especially you, Ryan, man, because, I mean, literally everything you did for your career in the intelligence community, he so easily translates over to our industry, and they use a lot of the same type, you know, easy, how can I say this, man? I don't want to say scams. I'm trying to think of the word, and you got to brace with me, Ryan. I got a brain injury. So sometimes, you know, shit just comes and it goes, and then it stays gone. So, but I guess they use a lot of the same methods, maybe, and that's probably not the right word, but a lot of the same methods, you know, that a lot of criminals use, you know, to scam folks and to fly underneath the radar. You know, they use the stuff that they know we know against us. And it's a matter of time until someone comes along, you know, that is smart enough to see, hey, they're using the things that you're telling everyone. They're literally writing it all down in a Post-it note and giving it to their coder so they can write something to override the shit you just told everyone about on a podcast with 50,000 viewers. Which is, you know, why a lot of folks are going more to the proprietary side of things, like you, man, you know, developing your own processes, procedures, programs, and methods, all that stuff like that. So,
yeah. And the one thing I'll say on that is, I came from government, and I know that working in government, it's hard. There's bureaucracy, there's budget issues, all the above. So I don't begrudge the DOT, FMCSA folks, all of that. Like, I truly think that they're trying to do the best that they can with the resources they have. But so was NASA trying to do the best it could with the resources it had. And then SpaceX came along and just said, hey, we're going to the moon, we're going to Mars. And so similarly, I think that, you know, we have 20,000 carriers that are in our data right now that have never had an FMCSA inspection. There was one the other day I was looking at, a Dallas flatbed carrier. We've seen them over 500 times in the last few months, operating between Dallas over into the southeast and up into Oklahoma. He's never been inspected. And there's, you know, 19,999 others of the carriers out there that are like, can't get loads from brokers because brokers have requirements. You have to be inspected, and they can't go get inspections because FMCSA or the state police won't do it. So we just kind of decided, you know what, heck with it. We're going to build this network. We're going to just see everything. And I think increasingly people are like, well, I'll check, you know, if there has been inspection, I want to know, was there equipment in working order? Great. But I don't need an inspection now to tell me, is this truck carrier real or not? Genlogs has seen them 500 times. I trust that they're out there. And so, you know, like SpaceX was able to do what NASA can't do. We're just kind of building further and further and further to do what the government hasn't been able to solve yet.
Oh, he almost said it, Hunter. He almost said it. Do you know what he almost said, Hunter?
What?
We have a favorite quote on this show. It really stems from the early days of this, but I'm a big fan of the Gipper, the great communicator, and as the Gip used to say, there is nothing that the government can do that the private sector cannot do better. I so thought you were going to say it right there at the end too, Ron. I was like, oh, he's going to say it. He's going to say it.
Well, I'm going to be borrowing the Gipper's line there too. Yeah, but and like I said, I came from government, and yet I'm increasingly a believer that the real technology and solutions often start because there's a really pressing need in the private sector, and they're going to solve it. That's what Genlogs is out to do.
Man, dude, I agree. Totally agree. All right, so I know we don't have a lot of time left, so I want to focus on other things that the Genlog does. We talked about a big part of the freight theft and fraud, or freight cargo and asset theft and freight fraud prevention. But dude, the great thing about your platform is you guys do a whole bunch of other stuff too. So really want to talk about that, like capacity building, shipper sourcing, those things, man. So tell us more about what y'all do.
Well, honestly, like I could get into the weeds here and I wouldn't even understand it if I was explaining it, let alone anyone who's listening. What I'll say here is when we built this sensor network, we realized that what we had actually built was a decryption key. So what does that mean by that? Well, there's a lot of data on vehicles on the roads out there. There's telematics vehicle, there's connected vehicle data, there's ELD data that some of these ELD providers will take, anonymize, and then they'll package it up to sell it to these traffic aggregators. Well, Genlogs goes out and we suck up all the data that's available of vehicles on the roads. We bring it into our team, in-house data science team, and then we look at when do we see one of these anonymized identifiers that are just happen to be on the roads crossing by our sensors right when a truck is in front of our sensor. And then we'll go 100 miles down the road and we'll be like, oh, that's interesting. When that anonymized data for a telematic or ELD happened to be there, we saw the same truck and then the same truck. And eventually a pattern emerges where you can now decrypt all of this data that's out there and then go from the origins to destinations for these trucks. Once you do that, you can now look at every shipper in America, and we have over 300,000 in our platform, and you click on them, and we now show you what all of their trucking lanes are. So you get all the destinations too, you get the volume that they have on that. So I know Del Monte just went out of business. That's why I'll use them or went bankrupt. Like you could literally go and say, show me all the Del Monte shipper locations in the US. Not only will we show you the locations, but you'll be able to see, okay, show me all of their trucking lanes. Then you as a broker get to email or call them, and with a subject line that says, hey, we have excess capacity on Pasadena to Oregon, or wherever it might be, knowing already that that's a lane that they have and they run heavy on. And man, the open rates and response rates to our customers now reaching out with this already known information on these shippers just spikes, and they're winning deals left and right. And that's really where sourcing capacity, like we all know it's a pretty lax market right now. And so capacity is not the killer use case. Now the shipper, like actually knowing what shippers are active out there and needing capacity, that's what we enable our customers now. As soon as capacity starts to squeeze, they'll be ready too, because they'll see the entire long tail of the market.
Wow. That is next level. Like
Again,
doing all
man,
the heavy lifting.
I know. Yes. Again, dude. With one thing, multiple purpose. He's like he's like a Swiss Army knife over here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So why stop here?
Not me. It's the Genlogs team. I mean, there's 70 people every day that are building the solution that brokers always dreamed they had, but really was never possible. And I am so proud of those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So continuing on talking about Genlogs, let's talk about the future. So y'all raised an initial $24 million in funding and have ambitious plans to expand into the U.S. and U.S. ports and Mexico. So what is the biggest regulatory or logistical hurdle that you anticipate in these expansion plans? Part B on this, what else is in the chute for Genlogs in 2025?
Well, the biggest logistical hurdle is our ambitions to get to every port, every rail, intermodal ramp, and then also expand into Mexico and Canada. We've been trying to crack the Mexico nut here for a while, and the team's running into hurdles and challenges, but man, they're persisting. We want to get down there. It looks like Canada might be coming online here sooner than we thought, which is great. But in terms of what we're about to unveil, I kind of hinted at it a few days ago, but we are about to unveil what we're calling port intelligence. So it is looking everything that's happening, drayage to cross docks, so from ports to cross docks, and then cross docks inland to the final receivers, so where the BCOs are. So if you're working in the drayage space and you're looking at and hauling near ports, we already have it all for the rail lines in the US. So every rail intermodal ramp, you can see where all of that freight moves both to and from the shippers out there. Now we're doing that for ports, and then unveiling who are all of the drayage carriers going in and out of those ports as well. So if you've kind of been drayage curious, let's say, now we got a solution for you. You can actually move into that and expand your brokerage to do that with confidence, because we're gonna back you there. So that's kind of where we're moving, is looking at how do we get these sensors that were at the middle mile closer to that first and last mile, and then also observing even to shippers' gates. Hey, this is what's happening at the shippers' gates, and more importantly, should this carrier be allowed in that gate or not? That's a little sneak peek too of somewhere we're going as well.
I have a feeling that Genlogs is going to be the first space freight tech company that we see on the market here soon. I mean,
I can see it next year. Next year, I can see the update on Genlogs live now from the moon. The camera track your trucks anywhere in the galaxy.
We talk internally. We say we're starting with roads. We'll go to rails and rivers, but then eventually we're going to seas, skies, and space. So that's where this is all headed. That
is outstanding, man.
Flabbergasted. Yeah, this is cool. This is seriously cool.
Before I ask the last question that I've got, that we had, which is more directed at you. I actually want to kind of stay on the future thing a little bit here. I know you guys have, and maybe you can't talk about it, or won't talk about it, but what are you guys thinking with the, autonomous trucks and stuff coming in? That is really going to shake things up. We talk about cargo theft and fraud being at an all-time high. Yeah, not every, Tom, Dick, and Harry scammer is going to be able to afford an AV, but we're talking about humans not being around when trucks are stopped and trailers are being dropped. And, have you guys thought about like that far into it, if that stuff happens?
Yeah, people could be hacking into that database.
Yeah, we've certainly thought about it. I still think there's a lot of reasons, both regulatory and also just political reasons, why that future might be still years off. I posted the other day on LinkedIn, we're literally watching Kodiak and Aurora and some of these others every day. Hey, are there still drivers behind the wheel? Spoiler alert, there are, and there probably will continue to be for a while, as they're doing some testing. Long term, or I should say even now, Genlogs treats every truck on the road as if it's autonomous, meaning we don't know if there's a driver. We don't care if there's a driver. We care that a truck from a commercial company was at a time and place and then seen again. And I really think that even if we go into the autonomous age and there's more autonomous trucks on the roads increasingly over time, that data is not necessarily going to be shared publicly anywhere that a truck happened to be autonomous in here. I know ArcBest just wrapped up some Tesla semi testing, just on the EV side. No one knew it was happening and no one was sharing that data publicly. So it's going to be the same issue of, hey, where are the trucks and where do we source a carrier and which autonomous truck is running reefers between Dallas to Chicago? Genlogs is still going to be watching that, and we're going to still help point brokers or shippers in the right direction of knowing which carriers are frequently operating in certain areas.
Again, forward thinking, man. Forward thinking. You scare me, Ryan. You scare me. I'm glad we're becoming friends, brother. I'm glad we're becoming friends. All right, man. So wrapping things up a little, want to talk a little bit about you, man. Your background, you told us you come from the intelligence community. Don't know how far you went there, whether you were supervisor, leadership, or whatnot, assuming that you were. But, now being in the civilian space, being a CEO, a founder, what do you think is a big lesson you've learned both as an entrepreneur and about being a leader? You said you got 70 people under you, man. So, what have you learned from this?
Well, I've learned a lot throughout my career that I've brought into this experience. And one of the things I've been on both sides of it. I've been a worker bee, and I've been working for someone, and then I've been leading others. And I've really sucked at both during out my career. And one of the things that I remember vividly is when you feel like you were working in an information vacuum where the vision isn't clear, the steps to get there are not clear, all of that's not being talked about. Man, it stinks to come to work every day and be like, what are we doing? Why are we doing this? Like unanswered questions. And then I've worked under great leaders that have taken the time to sit there and constantly explain and fill you in on their vision, reiterate it over and over, and explain the steps to how are we going to get from point A to point B as a company. We're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, and then enable them with the tools. So one of the things that maybe is unique about Genlogs from any other startup that's in the space, or maybe even beyond, is every Monday at 7 a.m., we release a company-wide email that talks about everything we've done over the last week, everything we need to do over this next week, and how it all relates to the greater vision of where we want to go as a company. I personally spend about 8 hours on the weekend to put this email together. So I write a multi-page intro, and then all of the team leaders feed up into me what's going on there. And then we release it to all 70 people at the company, and 71 and 72. And as each person comes on, not only that, but they get to access the archives, we call it the crown jewels, of all of those historically. So when you join Genlogs, the very first thing you get to do is go back in time and read, hey, where was Genlogs in June of 2023, of December 2024, and all of that, and see it progress. And you see the velocity that's happening. So one of my biggest takeaways, and I say this to anyone who's in a leadership position or otherwise, is communication and casting a vision, reiterating that vision, but also taking the time to explain it in intimate and intricate detail to your teammates. That will pay dividends in the future. And now I could, like I started the show, take off a day or two with my wife's family, and the team is just continuing to crush it. And now I realize like they're locked onto this vision, and they know exactly where we're going over the next month or two or three. And now we just execute. So that would be my feedback.
Okay, I lied. Final last question. What's something that you wish you would have known, man? Looking back now, what's something you wish you would have known that you think would have made things easier, made a difference, whatever you want to say?
Well, I wish. I remember coming in the industry knowing nothing about it, and I didn't know what a bad freight market looked like. And man, for everyone's sake, including Genlogs, I wish we were pulling out of that quick. And it's been frankly difficult that to come into this and be building this platform that when capacity gets tight and freight gets hot, it's going to be the hottest commodity in town. And yet we're somewhat almost operating in stealth mode. I'm shocked that 2 years into this journey, there are people that have never heard of Genlogs still. And I'm like, what? Like, don't you want superpowers at your fingertips? And so, I would say, I wish that I would have been prepared more to understand, like, hey, freight is cyclical. There's some tough times. And those are the times now to put your head, though, and really grind to build, like, how are we going to be structured for the good times ahead? What type of company do we want to be when all of a sudden everyone is scrambling for capacity, and we basically are sitting at an oasis with the water that everyone is looking to find? That's what we always have to keep our North Star. But I feel the pain. I feel the pain of shippers, of carriers out there just struggling to survive, of brokers trying to make ends meet with, squeezing margins as much as possible. Genlogs is right in there with you guys. And but we're all going to come through this at some time soon.
Well said, man. Dude, I love it, man. This has been a whole bunch of words: intriguing, exciting, awesome, amazing, fantabulous, like informational, scary. You know what I mean? Like it's man, we covered a whole array of emotions through this show, man, or emotional words to this show. And this dude, I will say, I have to admit, Ryan, that we're a little iffy on the tech stuff sometimes. we love the tech stuff, but dude, sometimes it can be you know what I mean? And brother, you knocked it out the park, man. Knocked it up. I love how confident you are in your product, in yourself, in your abilities. I love your deliverance or your deliverance, your delivery. Good movie, by the way. If you've never seen it, go watch it. I love your delivery on everything, man. And it sounds polished, but I think people who kind of know you and follow you a little bit, they see that it's not polished. It's the passion you have behind it, and you've locked in the focuses and the key points of the things that really matter to you. And so you've got the preparedness and the answers ready for that, because it's easy to you to answer those things. It's like, man, these are my missions. I don't have to pretend with this stuff. So, dude, I mean, but where is it? Where is it? There it is. I mean, that's really all I can say, man.
Well, it was great to join you guys. I would happily come back again. This was a blast. And really, like, for anyone who's listening, if you're like, hey, Genlogs, never heard of you guys before, I'm interested. We got a team that would love to show you a demo, and you can go to genlogs.io, book a demo in the upper right-hand corner, including both of you two here, Freight Hound, Pedro Potato.
I'm about it. I'm going to tell my boss about this shit. My boss is a huge tech geek, man. Huge tech geek.
Well, that's why I can be so confident in the technology, because it just unequivocally works. And it's something you can physically see and be like, well, the carrier was there. I saw it. And so, yeah, it's a fantastic team behind it. I wish I could name all 70 by name right now, but that's really who you should be applauding, because they're the ones actually building this thing on a daily basis and just knocking it out of the park.
Love that. Well, good news, Ryan. You can come on anytime, because you're now an official Lounge Lizard, which is a term of endearment. So anytime you're going to come on with the updates, and, when you go to space, come on, tell us about it. We can even do another show, because I feel like there's a lot more that we could dig into. This is one of those shows where, tip of the iceberg, but there's a lot more underneath that, we can still talk about. But
you've got to go on Hunter's show on Tuesday, Drainage Junkies.
Yeah, we can get hooked up on that. Yeah, talking about the ports and stuff, because that is interesting, because I know the ports can kind of be a pain to deal with. So, hearing that story and how you guys are advancing that, and because that is one thing that a lot of people don't talk about, and it is a thing, especially you're talking about drop trailers. A lot of people drop containers, and it can be a mistake that they happen to pick up the wrong container, and then they're like, oh, sorry about that, bring it back, boom, no product, or it's just completely gone. So yeah, we can definitely get hooked up on that. But to write off what Pedro was saying, I mean, he is 100% correct. A lot of times, the tech, it's not that the product's bad or the delivery's bad. It's just kind of repetitive in a sense. But I mean, your passion behind it, the story of what got you to this point, is by far the coolest story I've heard, man. I mean, USA all the way. And I mean, who better to fight fraud than the freaking CIA and bring some good to the table? So kudos to you and your team, man.
Absolutely. Well, it's great joining you guys. You guys have a great evening.
Hey, you too, Rod, man. We're gonna catch up, brother, and talk about stuff, dude. However we can help you. If you need anything from us, just let us know, dude. And we'll definitely be in touch with you. Love to have you back on. And yeah, man.
Sounds great. Y'all take care.
Freaking A, dude. Have a good one.
Thanks, Ron.
All right.
Man, that's crazy, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely bonkers, dude. I mean, that is probably one of the best fucking backstories we've ever had on this show. Yeah. Ryan, just so you know, you don't have to leave, man. Like, if you want to chill with us, we're going to stay here for like another 10 minutes and end the show. So if you want to come back up, just wave your hand and you can end the show with us. But dude, that one of the greatest backstories fucking ever in the history, man. Like, yes. I don't know what I'm saying, dude. I'm honestly, I'm floored. I'm just floored at your history, your experience, the company, the things you're doing, the implementation of the tech that you guys are doing. And like I said earlier, how you guys are bringing multiple things together for one singular mission in the end. And it's just fucking amazing. Golly.
Yeah. And I'm with you on that too, Ron. I'm surprised. Like, I've heard the name Genlogs, but I have not known how deep y'all go into it. So yeah, any way we can help preach the good word, brother. I mean, that is like, I've never heard of anything like this before. I guess it's because there's never been anything like this before, but man.
Well, I do got to run now, but let's, we'll get you guys hooked up. You can see it. touch it, feel it. It's real. And then I'm happy to come back on to chat about some, additional wins we have over the next few months and stuff too. So
good. But before you go, all right, because the way you exited, I was like, man, this guy's got something to do. So before you go, we need 30 seconds. Any exiting comments, questions, concerns, updates you want to give yourself or the company some plugs? Tell everyone where they can find you and Genlogs at, how they can get in touch with you.
Yeah, well, come check out the website, genlogs.io, genlogs.io. We're on LinkedIn. We're on X. I often on LinkedIn, I'm posting all the time. You can look me up, Ryan Joyce. If you're in the industry, I just automatically am like, yep, let's connect. Let's do it. And then, I'll make sure we're posting every once in a while when we have some new product stuff coming down. We'll be posting there. Look, guys, I had a blast here. Next time I'll join you, like bring a bourbon or, beer. We'll do something together.
Yeah, man.
Now that I know we're hanging and chatting and I'm one of the lounge lizards. So, yeah, and I guess most importantly, like we want to bring cargo theft down to zero, fraud to zero. If you do get hit by it, whether you're a shipper, broker, carrier, hit our website, that find lost assets, you can report it. We're going to literally help you get it back in your hands for free. So like, there's no gimmick here. We just do that. It's something that's our way to give back to the industry, which has really helped the entire industry for us to get to this point of where we are and really now carry us into what's going to be a monster next year. So great to see you guys. Good to hear from you, Super Trucker, and others that tuned in. Thanks for everyone to do that.
Yep. Hey, have a good one, Ron. Thank you, man. And we'll connect later, brother. Have yourself a fantastic evening and a good rest of your week.
Sounds good, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Later, buddy.
Sweet.
That was good. That was exciting, man.
Yeah, that's cool.
It really was. That was an exciting show. I'm serious. Like, that guy kind of had me at the edge of my seat the whole freaking time, man.
Yeah, like what's next? Especially the shipper thing. Like, dude, that's crazy.
It is. It's
doing it different. That's the only way I know how to describe it. Doing it different, doing it better. So, Genlogs.
But he's, we didn't make the point, but when you make it now, he's just another testament of like this industry is completely accidental. I mean, it is. No one grows up saying, I want to work in logistics. You know what I mean? Maybe besides being a truck driver because your dad or uncle or whatever it was, but you get what I mean,
Yeah.
No one aspires to be in this. And it, what he's doing, what he's doing with Genlogs and his team is doing, goes to show that, how the skills from earlier parts of your life, like easily transcend into logistics. Like I said, that guy could take that stuff anywhere. He could be investigating insurance stuff, and or helping law enforcement with investigation with their technology. But it's like, man, like let's help the American supply chain. Like let's get involved in that and tackle that problem because no one else is really doing it from the avenue that they are. So really amazing. I gotta find out who the hell. I really have a feeling it was Claudia. I want to ask Claudia. Claudia, did you hook us up with Ryan and Genlogs? I really like this. Just feels like this is in her purview. You know what I mean? It's either her or talking to Justin. It could have been Justin because Justin knows. So I don't know, but I'm thinking it was Claudia.
Yeah, I think it was you because the email response looked like a Pedro response. So someone.
Well, I did email them, but I'm saying someone connected us somehow. Like I somehow. I don't know who it is. It's bothering me, so I got to figure it out. But I bet you it was probably Claudia or John. It could have been John Cantera.
Never know. Never know.
But
that's right, man. Justin. We are so
back.
You got to come on this Friday. We're doing a freestyle.
Yeah, Justin. Yeah, you told me you were going to make Friday your media days, Justin.
He told me that as well.
Yeah, he did. It was a couple weeks ago. Yeah, I was talking about that. This is all. No, we were like, we were trying to figure out earlier how we got hooked up with him, and we think it's Claudia Catlett, but seeing that you were trying, I was like, I don't know, maybe it was Justin that like hooked us up together. So I don't know.
It could have been someone like Matt Silver too, talking about Mexico and
Matt,
all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
it could have been Matt. Yeah.
I don't know.
Who knows, man? Who knows? This industry's so big yet so small yet so huge. You know what I mean? That's how it is. So.
A lot of people tell us about a lot of people that tell us about more people, and then it's I don't know, the rabbit hole, the black hole of freight that we live in.
I'm starting to have I'm starting to have a problem like remembering everybody. To be honest,
I don't think
with
that's ever been a not problem for you, but
no, dude,
Yeah,
it was.
No, but you blow my mind though, dude. Like we'll talk about Tim Higgins, dude. I haven't thought about that name in months. I've never would have
Because
popped.
so I'll tell you the reason I immediately thought about him is because I have notifications on for Tim. So on LinkedIn,
Okay.
there are few people that I have notifications on, and Tim is one of them. I love Tim's content, the way that he makes things relate, and he talks about a lot more than just his own shit. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I really like that about him. And we've had him on. The dude is so smart, bro. So
Yeah.
damn smart. You know, speaking of that, we got to get with him and have him come back on because when he was on, he was just rolling out that CRM thing that he was doing, and it's been like about a year since he did that. So we got to have him back on and talk to him about. And he's done a bunch of updates to Ascend. So, but yeah, that's why I immediately thought about him because he's one of those people that does that, dude. Like Tim is, he sees a problem and is like, oh well, I'm kind of already doing that. I just don't use the information that I have for that specific need. But now that I see a need from other people for it, let me do that. And you know,
Yeah,
so he is. I think he's a really good
outside
example
of
of that.
TJ O'Donnell, he's probably one of the most chill business owners I've ever met. Super successful. Just man. I
Dude,
guess we'll do
TJ
that.
and Tim would be such good friends.
Or they'd hate each other.
Or they hate each other.
Like,
That's
that is
so
pretty
true.
rare.
Or they'd hate each other. But they have, dude, they have that same, they have like kind of the same personality. They're, very upbeat, and yeah, I think they would get along famously.
Yeah. Should try and wrangle TJ back on the show.
we do got to get darting uphill.
Yeah.
I need to ask him how I came up with that damn name one day.
Oh, I think
You
it's
ever
that
ask him?
story about him. Remember when they were like shooting rounds out when he was in the Marines? I think in like boot camp, and they had like a bunch of ammo up on the hill to bring down to like shoot a certain type of guns, and they never said you can't go up and grab more ammo, and he just wanted to unload more, so he fucking went darting up the hill to go get more.
Dude, that tracks. That tracks.
Yeah,
I'm gonna ask him
yeah.
for. We gotta ask him
He
for
likes to shoot
clarification. on
guns
that
a
one.
lot, or I don't know, or he likes running up hills. That's wouldn't put anything past that guy.
Who fucking knows, dude? You're talking about a guy who somehow finds a way to put 75 feet of truck in a yoga studio parking lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, man's insane. Dude,
I love how most people on the road are like, yeah, I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna find a place to park my truck to go do this. And TJ's like, yeah, found a place to park my truck so I could go do hot yoga today.
Oh yeah, dude. Every time I'm on the road with him, he's like, our trip is. You'd think it was a business trip. No, it's revolved around the closest yoga studio, the times. Like, dude, that one time when the first time I went out there and I got stuck in San Jose when his truck wouldn't start. It was freaking an hour and a half just fixing his truck for him. And when I went to that Mexican, TJ's a trip, man.
I remember that story when he called and asked the person like how to fix it, and then he was like, will this fix the problem? And they were like, well, it won't fix it. And TJ's like, but will it work?
Oh yeah, dude.
It'll work,
needles, dude. Yeah, that was God. 115 degrees out there. It's like I wouldn't do that. I mean, it'll work. He's like, all right, as long as it'll start up. Having a freaking lump fucking freight off the back of that trailer into another trailer. I was like, we're stuck out here forever, middle of the desert.
And I forget his son's name escapes me now, but he is just like his damn dad.
Yeah. I don't know.
I know, totally escapes. It's an easy name too, and it totally escapes me. As soon as I thought about it, I was like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Forgot what his name is.
Yeah, no, his family's awesome. I mean,
yeah, dude.
Got to figure it out.
Yeah. All right, man. You got anything else that you want to add, man, before we do a final sponsor break and talk about what we got coming up here?
No, not really. Go follow my TikTok at the Freight Hound. See some videos on there. Go follow Pedro at Pedro Potato.
Nah, fuck that. Don't worry about bothering me. I don't get no views on my TikTok. Go follow Hunter, dude. You're fucking crushing. I'm so jealous. Bro, you're crushing it on fucking TikTok, dude.
Shout out to Super Trucker for giving me that little bit of intel. Riding the wave. I'm actually cutting into my time here. Okay, sweet.
Cutting into your
Yeah,
TikTok timeline, dude. I so
dude, it's
remember when I
calculated,
first
man.
met you talking about TikTok. I was like, I ain't got time for no TikTok, man.
Yeah. Well, see, I mean, I
Tickety
think that's
tack talk, toot talk. Forget that talk.
well. Then
now,
when I
now
the
here you are,
cancel
fucking.
shit,
You know what it is? You got that high, bro. You got that high from all those views you're getting. That's what it is. You get that high, man.
however, I can get my fix, man. I'm, yeah, you know, I gave up on LinkedIn for a little bit and got big on X, and then got a little burnt out on X, come back to LinkedIn. And TikTok's just a whole new horizon, man. You know, we're just spreading the good word about the lounge, and eventually it'll all come together. But until then, I'm not that well-oiled of a machine.
I like
I
TikTok.
might
man.
actually fool around and start an X space tonight when I'm on my 5-mile walk getting sprayed by skunks.
Remember, it's mating season. Mating season, bro.
Yeah, well, I will ruin their good times. I will kick a skunk right in its freaking little balls. I don't care.
You'll still get sprayed. Yeah, kick it right where it's going to spray you, the area it's going to spray you from.
That'll be the last time, man, or I'll have a bunch of skunks coming after me. I don't
Or
care.
you don't know.
My retirement plan is to start a freaking skunk like extermination business. No other varmints, just skunks. I have a vendetta for him, dude. You know my history with him. Getting sprayed the day before my best friend's wedding when I was the best man. Wouldn't even let me in his house. Then on the way back, I hit a skunk. My fucking vehicle smelled like a skunk for another month, dude. It's just, yeah, terrible animals. I don't know what they're good for. I don't know if they're good for anything, truth be told. I think they just eat bugs. So, and
you know what I
up.
think it is, bro? I think that like in like maybe 2 of your previous lives ago in the like wild west or just something, you were a skunk fur trapper. And so
Good.
you were infamous, and all the skunks told their and all the other skunks after them about you and your smell, and you have the same smell every life, and so they just know, bro, man. That's what it is. I think you were an infamous skunk fur trapper in some previous lives, and they skunks just have a built-in hatred for you.
Well, I hope they're ready for round 3 because it's not stopping. Okay, like. You think I'm joking, bro? I will be a 70-year-old man walking around with a 22, popping them off. I don't care.
Oh, it's funny, man.
I'll be like Ryan and go live in their environment for a while and learn their ways.
Oh man. Well,
all
you know,
right.
talking about learning, we're gonna learn about something cool, man. You know, and overlaying topic today was about protecting your cargo and your assets. You know, a really great way to do that is by parking in a secure location, and just wouldn't you know it? One of our sponsors can offer that for you, Freight Ninja. You can just go to their website, freightninja.com, contact them there. Make sure you use the code Lounge Ninja so you get yourself some discounted rates there too. And when you're not fortunate enough to be parking in a Freight Ninja location, our other sponsor, 7P GPS, their device, Trailer Century, will help keep you safe and protected, your cargo and your truck and your trailer, while you're out there on the roads and in the public. You can go ahead and hit them up at 7pgps.com. Make sure you tell them I heard about it on the Logistics Lounge.
Yes.
All right, that's going to do it for us today. Friday, this Friday, July 18th, we have a freestyle Friday. So if you ain't got nothing to do, even if you do have something to do, come join us. We'll hang out with you. Going to dinner with your family, we don't give a shit. Put us on the phone. We'll chill. We'll talk with your family, help you order appetizers, and make sure you get the proper food to alcohol intake ratio correct. Come hang out with us. We're just going to have a good time. It's going to be us. Say it, Hunter. I know you got something to say.
I was just gonna say drink of water with every beer. That's what my dad told me, but I didn't listen. So,
we're just gonna be hanging with the homies. Y'all know how we do freestyle, so come on, hang out with us, have a good time. Next week, we are gonna start our week off here in the lounge. I don't know, we might get canceled after this one. We have the infamous Jason Rabine coming to hang out with us. He hasn't been here for quite some time. Holy crap, someone's calling me on my phone. Will not turn off. Sorry. The infamous Jason Rabine. He's going to come in. He's going to talk to us about God only knows what.
I think I know what he's going to be talking about, dude. He's been working on some shit in the background, dude. Rabine's out for blood again.
All I know is our intro video. He is exactly why we made it with the whatever that thing is. Can't think of the word, man. Can't think of the word. Disclaimer. It's exactly why we put the disclaimer on there. And so, yeah, come with us with Jason Rabine and, be a good time. Don't forget to watch Stop the Scam on Mondays. Our good friend John Cantera, he has his own channels, usually found under Double Broker Bounty Hunter. Go watch him. And we have something else that goes on. Was it Tuesday or something?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, something.
Voyage Junkies every Tuesday
That's
at 12
what it
o'clock
is.
Central Time. Come learn about the great freight that actually keeps freight on these roads here in the great United States, the unspoken heroes of the supply chain. Every Tuesday at 12 o'clock Central Time with Mr. Steve Talamo, Dirty Dre. And I have no idea who our guest is next week. That's kind of how we roll, but good times, as always. And shout out to Shoreline Capital and Pro Driver Project, inventor of the pigtail wedge. All you drivers out there, be sure to go there, get you one so you don't have those flickering trailer lights. It's a simple thing. You plug in your power source from your trailer to your truck. Boom, sliding that pigtail wedge. Keep you on the road and get those out of service marks just a thing of the past. Keep it out of there. But that's all I got, Pedro.
You keep your damn sponsor plugs on your own show.
Hey, it's
okay?
all a family here, okay?
Right.
Don't make me tell Clint that, okay? I will tell Clint that you said no Shoreline Capital on the Logistics Lounge, even though he's one of the founding sponsors of this show that, helped us get to where we are today.
We might as well. He maybe was one of the founding fathers. Him, Jimmy, Henry. We need to get Henry back on the show, bro.
Dude. You know what? I actually thought about it when we were at Iowa 8. I was sitting there and I saw one of the carnival trucks drive by, and I was like, I bet that's Jimmy's family. Not Jimmy's family. I bet that's Henry's family. It has to be, dude.
Oh, man. And a matter of fact, when we had him on last year, they were about to do some rollout stuff too. Because, they had changed, they had rebranded. They were Freight Management, I think, Systems, and it became Freight Management, I think, Software. And they were about to roll out some stuff. Man, we got to get Henry back on. Plus his backstory, dude, you can never hear that story enough, bro. From Carney to logistics. I mean, that's crazy.
Let's go.
Hey, Hunter. Oh, know what? Totally forgot. Forgot.
Yeah, the FMCSA.
While everyone is still with us. So, breaking news having to do with the FMCSA. Well, kind of, sort of. So, our good friend, Danielle Spinelli, y'all may all know her. She's been on our show. She's been on John's show. And she is with My Carrier Portal. My Carrier Portal. Absolutely amazing woman, really out there in the front lines, trying to help with the fight against fraud and theft in our industry. She has a webinar series that she started not too long ago. Her next one has, who do you think's coming on? It has to do with the FMCSA. It's a it's a person. He's been on our show before. Mr. Ken Riddle. Riddle.
Yeah.
With the FMCSA.
I I don't remember having Ken on here, but
Yeah, he came when we were at Broker Carrier Summit. That was our
I
show.
was thinking like in this setting. Yeah. Broker Carrier Summit show, of course.
We should get Ken on. I guess you said we technically haven't had him here in the lounge. But anyway, back to Danielle. Danielle is having Ken Riddle with the FMCSA on. He is a part of their registration department. He's spoken at the Broker Carrier Summit a few times. He was on our show live from the Broker Carrier Summit last year. Really amazing guy. Really cares about the industry. Trying to do anything that he can to help mitigate freight fraud and just streamline processes when it comes to dealing with the FMCSA, registration, renewals, all that type of stuff. So yeah, make sure you tune into that. It is Thursday, July 24th. Go follow Danielle Spinelli on LinkedIn. I think is where she's putting out the information. She will shoot you a link to be able to join it. And I'm sure she'll send us something. Maybe we'll put something out on the lounge page to give everyone some visibility on it as well. But she does a great job. She's a very, very great lady. Always puts out some good information. And yeah, it might be one of the only chances you actually get to hear someone from the FMCSA actually talk. So Thursday, July 24th, it's 1 to 2 p.m. Central Time.
Sweet.
Almost forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched her last one, dude. It was her last one was a good one. She did it, I don't know, 2 months ago. I think it was right before Matt's, but it was a good one, man. It was real good. Danielle knows her shit, man. She knows her stuff. She's a smart lady, man. And she's exciting. She's another one of those people that talks about a subject that gets beaten down a lot, but she's so well versed on it and knows what she's talking about, and she has a really great excitement level, and so she keeps it interesting, makes it interesting, and that's kind of what this little webinar thing she's doing is trying to bring some more eyes on it and stuff. So yeah, there you go. I think that's it. I think that's all I got, dude. Did I cover everything? We talked about Friday. We talked about next week. Oh, what we didn't talk about is we have probably, put it on your calendars, ladies and gentlemen, August 2nd, Friday, August 2nd, the lounge's second birthday party. We will be 2 years old. That's right. 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, July 2023, Mr. Hound and I came up with this crazy idea for this ridiculously dumb show that we never had any intentions of going or doing any of the things that it has done. But, man, we love it. And we love all of you. We appreciate everyone that hangs out with us, chills with us a couple times a week, getting to meet everyone at shows. And, everyone's kind of become a second family. Hunter and I were actually talking about that yesterday when I was on my walk, about how, you continue to see these same people and talk to these same people, and you develop, go from a friendship to almost like a family. Look at what Nate Johnson did for you, Hunter. We were like, oh man, I can't go Trucker Jamboree. And Nate's like, dude, if you need a place to stay, like, I'll do that for you. You know what I mean? So, yeah, second birthday, we're going to have a good time. It's going to be a freestyle. We're going to chill. I'm sure Hunter and I will come with some stupid shtick to make it exciting. Dude, maybe we should do like a highlight reel from our dumpster days. Oh, that's so what we should do, bro. A dumpster day highlight reel. Yes. And start off with the very first show. Yes. The very first
I don't know where my co-host is, but that was so bad, dude. Bro. Sleeping. I was taking a nap, bro. Oh, dude, that was so bad. But
yes, that's what we should do. A highlight reel only covering the dumpster fire days. Those were, man. I want to go back and watch some of our old shows and laugh.
Dude, yeah, I'm like pull from the show, and we went for 9 hours, 10 hours. Golly,
I don't know.
We might have to censor some of that stuff because we were a little. Dude, believe it or not, we have toned down just a smidge since those days.
We were lying there, bro. You were.
Yeah, we really leaned into the lawless side of life. I should have never brought up Howard Stern because I think that's sounded a lot more fun than the other.
And that used to be like the reference and shit we would make. We're like the Howard Stern show, but for logistics, you never know, dude. You never knew what you were going to get on this show when you. Man, those were some good times though, bro. Yeah. J Mart, if you're still watching, you were part of that, bro. If you're still watching, dude, Justin was right there with us in the trenches, man. In the trenches, just hanging out, figuring it out. Dang, dude. It wasn't until like, it really wasn't until
After that New Year, dude, when
that
we like
New Year,
sat there for 2 weeks straight, just talking to each other and like, okay, this is serious. We have to do this. And then, hey, shout out to Indie Trucker for telling us about Matt's, because we definitely wouldn't be going all these truck shows now.
That
getting
is
us
right.
in touch with those cats.
Chris was the one that made that happen for us. Yes, because they sent him an email and were like, "Hey man, we would like for you to come to the show and be, on a media pass, da 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 da." And
yeah, we didn't even know about media passes.
No,
and
Indy, like, he did.
He
He
get a media
that
packet together, and it's like, what's that? Like,
yeah, man, I totally forgot about that. He did send us that email and was like, "Hey man, here's what you need. Go for it." Like, dude, golly. Talking about family, man, helping each other out, bro. You know what I mean?
Dude.
And then hooking up with Justin there, bro. You know what I mean? And just like hanging out with Justin, like talking about media and social media and directions to go and doing all this stuff. And Justin, I still have Tex still has the photo that we took together saved. I forgot about that. I need to get that printed out. I'm gonna put that shit on my wall, bro. Behind me, the photo of me, you, and Justin, right there in front of Brandon's bar car that he took with that like 100-year-old camera. Yeah, man. Oh, dude, that's amazing.
There's definitely some foreshadowing in that photo too, because I mean, now we're homies with Brandon. Like
that, yeah, true. So true, man. Oh,
shout out to Tex for telling us about Brandon's bar car and Long Haul Paul. Dude, yeah, we're about to take a freaking trip down memory lane on that birthday, dude. Golly,
hell yeah, we are, dude. We got to get with we got to get with Chris early. Like we got to text Chris like tonight.
Oh yeah. No, this will be a select.
And Taylor, group. We got to get with Taylor's ass too, man. Oh, Gord, man, dude.
Yeah, man. The homies, dude. Like, sorry for everybody that's came on a little bit late, but this is gonna be a special one. I mean, 2-year mark, dude. Most businesses don't make it past 2 years, so much less a freaking podcast. Like, come on now.
Crazy, bro. And growing, man, every day. Dude. Hunter, can you
I can't. But I'm glad I get to cash in and get my money's worth out of that birthday hat that I bought last year.
Oh.
The big cake one, dude. I still got it.
I think I still have mine, or maybe my cat tore it up, but I'll go find another one.
I refuse to throw it out, dude. That was like $20. I was like, dude,
I still have that fucking crazy turkey hat I bought for our Christmas show the first year. Remember, I still have that thing, bro.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm wearing a freaking Santa hat every show.
Yeah, dude, man.
I need to do that again.
I totally forgot about that shit too, man. I totally forgot about the Santa hat thing. Dude, I hated that, Hunter. I'm not even gonna lie. We were in that. I've been thinking, like, this thing's so damn hot. I just want to take this shit off right now.
Well, we did it.
Oh man,
that's gonna be a lot of fun.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait till that show, dude. That is going to be.
Yeah, we got to get in the lab and co-op on this, dude. We need to like sit there and watch our first few shows together. Like, man.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh,
that's gonna be.
Yeah, that'll be cool too, man. Yeah, we should definitely, whoever's on the show, like, find the episodes of when they were on the show for the first time and like meet them for the first time and shit. Like, it's gonna take a minute, but shit. I've gone back and watched our shows before. I cringe and then turn it off in like 2 minutes. But
dude, I wonder if YouTube tells me how many lives we've done.
I don't know.
I wonder. I've been thinking about that lately. Like, dude, how many shows have we done? Because remember, we used to be 3 days a week. When was it? Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and then it was.
Bro, we've had weeks where we've done 5 shows.
Yes.
I think the record's like 7 because we were on other people's shows and then doing our shows and like, talk about some sweat equity.
Bro,
we're sitting down, not sweating equity. I don't know.
All right, so 32. Holy shit. It says, oh no, YouTube lost count. It says it's page 1 and there's 30. It says 1 through 30 of about 234, and that's lives.
And I don't think we haven't even always had face or YouTube.
No, YouTube we didn't. We had, and because we have like a whole bunch of videos that we did. We did like 6 months before we ever got on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, we've
crazy.
probably done around, I mean, I'm definitely over 300 shows combined.
Yes, easily 300 shows. We're fucking golly, dude.
I wonder if that,
Crazy.
dude, Chat
We got on YouTube November
might
10th.
know.
Huh?
Chat GPT might know how many times we've gone live, but also I don't even remember because remember when we first started, we couldn't even go live from LinkedIn. I think we had to go live from our personal pages and shit.
Yeah, dude. And I'm sitting here looking at our first few shows. The first one was Logistics Lounge episode 1, and we called it episode Uno. The next one was, guess what the next one was? Just take a guess what the topic was.
Fraud.
Yes.
Yeah, we wrote the fraud
in
train pretty
logistics.
heavy there for a minute.
Fraud in logistics. And then it was mental health. We got to get them back on, dude. That was the truck drivers charity folks.
Yeah, we'll talk about that on the side. I think some things have changed up over there because
I mean, I know I wouldn't say them specifically, but I meant like Grizz. Like Grizz is doing his own thing on another deal. So,
yeah,
holy shit! And the crazy names we had. Oh, dude, our our first Freestyle Friday was called Freedom Friday. Freedom Friday.
I don't know why we ever strayed away from that.
I don't know, dude. The names we had: $2 Tuesdays.
Dude. Yeah.
And we had Why the Truck Not Wednesday. Jimmy's first show, Why the Truck Not Wednesday with Jimmy Durden. That was November 15th. In the background to it, bro, gotta fucking pull this up. I'm sorry, I gotta pull this up.
Oh, is it the lounge setting one?
Yes. Let me. Oh, dude.
Dude, we should run that back, old logo and everything. Oh God.
Hold on, bro. I'm about to pull this up. This is so good. I know we're about to get off here, but you got me going. I'm just going to run this up.
Oh, yeah, do it, man.
We get straight on here in a minute.
We got a bunch of people watching still, so.
Look at that, bro. That OG. Look at we.
Oh,
you.
yeah,
remember
dude.
we used to do the backgrounds? Remember?
Damn, I forgot Jimmy used to have that long ass beard too.
Dude, yeah, bro. Look at that. That is so fucking crazy,
Wow.
dude.
Throwing
my
hashtags
God.
and all that out there.
Dude, that is so.
Back when we were running our backgrounds too. Oh, dude.
I know, man. Yeah, when we used to have the different backgrounds. And look, speaking of Henry, look at the sponsor.
Yep.
Freight Man. He was our first sponsor. That's what it was. Henry was our very first sponsor on the Logistics Lounge.
Let's go.
Dude, that's absolutely crazy, Hunter.
I love that.
That's nuts.
Oh, well, that'll be an exciting show.
Yeah,
Trip
man.
down memory lane. I don't even remember what we did for last year's birthday.
I
We should,
don't
we should,
know.
I don't either. I think a lot of people just hopped on.
Yeah, I think we just chilled out. I think you're right.
Yeah.
I'll have to go look. I'll go look. But yeah. Well,
Oh yeah, you got balloons and stuff.
yeah, I did. That's right. I did. I had happy birthday. You're right. And my office was reversed too.
Flip. Yeah, that's back when it was
Yeah.
still the bedroom. Yeah, fuck, dude.
Yeah, dude. Holy shit. I forgot about golly. So much has changed. 2 years. It doesn't even feel like 2 years, bro.
I know. I was thinking about that today because I was on Printful looking at some designs and they have jerseys on there, and I was like, what year would that be? And I was 23, which is great. I'm gonna make it some 23 jerseys,
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah.
But I was like, damn, dude, 2023 is when we started. Now it's about to be 2026, dude. Come on now. That's nuts.
Still going.
Still going.
And I remember, I think it was J Mart who had told us, he's like, man, dude, most people don't make it past 10 episodes. And we're at 200 and something.
A lot of people don't even start. Pedro's getting yelled at.
No, she wants to talk about dinner, I think is what she's talking about.
Okay.
She's all
right.
beating on the door. She heard us in here bullshitting, and she's like, oh, you're still alive? I was like, yeah, babe, I'm still alive.
Yeah, we're live.
But we can get off here, which is fine, because
Yeah, I gotta go get my steps in today before it gets dark out.
I feel you, dude.
about-
I got mine in late yesterday too. So well, I mean, I guess that's it. We've already done sponsor break. We had a fantastic show. Gotta have that guy back on again. Really excited to hear about that stuff he's talking about with the ports, dude. So can't wait to
Heck
see him
yeah.
on Trade Junkies either. But hey, as I always say, chunk them deuces, everyone. Mr. Hound, roll that beautiful bean footage.
The views and opinions expressed on this show by its guests are not necessarily those of Lounge Media Group or the show host. So if you sue someone, make sure it's the party responsible for hurting your feelings. Also, grow up, be an adult, and understand not everyone thinks like you. And that's okay.